Anthony Slater here in downtown Minneapolis after what was a Thunder win in the Target Center tonight over the young Timberwolves, 126-123. That's not a quadruple overtime score. That is a regulation score. A Big 12 football game broke out. And that's really how it's, really been this entire road trip for the Thunder. A really strange road trip. They gave up 116 points a game, 122 to the Knicks, who aren't a good offensive team, 116 in a loss to the Nets, who are like the second worst offensive team, third worst offensive team in the league, and then 122 tonight, or 123 tonight, to a not great Timberwolves offensive team. But then they go 3-1 within this road trip, and that's with losing Steven Adams for 2 games with an elbow sprain, losing Andre Robertson for a knee sprain. He'll be out a little while. You got to credit the offense, and particularly Kevin Durant. 44 in Madison Square Garden, bails them out, really big down the stretch in overtime. And then tonight, he goes for 27. There's contributions everywhere. Dion Waiters hits 4 threes. Russell Westbrook, near triple-double. He was, great offensively. Enes Kanter, 23 and 10. But Durant closed it out, 7 points in the final minute 45, 27 in the game. Hit some big shots. There's concerns right now. Defensively, I just said the numbers. These are against not great teams. Think about it. They got the Warriors coming up 3 times over the next couple months, the Spurs 3 times, the Clippers 3 times. They cannot play near with this defensive effort. So it is a problem. It's a problem, they're acknowledging, but as Durant said post-game, they're not panicking about it. But it's got to be shored up. I think this stretch coming up will be interesting because there are some, maybe flimsy excuses of what this road trip was with the blizzard in New York and just the dog days of summer. But, this next week is going to be interesting. You got the Rockets in town Friday in Oklahoma City, Wizards, Magic. Those are, 2 decent Eastern Conference teams. And then the Warriors February 6th, right before the Super Bowl. I'm interested to see how this Thunder defense responds over the next 4 games. But anyway, here's Billy Donovan, Kevin Durant, Russell Westbrook talking post-game about the defensive issues, and Durant, closing this thing out.
This game, another night where defense seemed to struggle early, but you guys figured something out late in the game. What changed tonight?
Well, I was really proud of our guys this road trip. We obviously had to battle a lot of different things. We dealt with, Steven getting hurt and having to sit out, and then Andre having to go down. 2 really good defensive players, and then, coming in tonight, Cameron, has some concussion-like symptoms. We don't know exactly what's going on. Probably find out more tomorrow. We've had a group of guys that logged a lot of minutes yesterday. I thought we got great bench production today. I thought Anthony Morrow gave us a good lift. DJ Augustine gave us a good lift. Nick did. Kyle did. Enes, I thought, come off the bench, played very, very well. We battled foul trouble. And certainly the defensive numbers, I think some of it can contribute to, the end of a long 4-day trip. But I really thought our guys gave great effort, considering the fact that, it was a tough turnaround coming out of yesterday's overtime game out of New York, getting into 3:30 in the morning, and then having to turn around and play again. So I give these guys a lot of credit for having some resiliency and some perseverance to battle through when, all the time it didn't look pretty. But, I thought we had really good ball movement on offense. We shot a real high percentage. The 3-point line helped us. I thought we executed. Obviously, Kevin made some plays coming down the stretch, and that helped. And I think we got stops when we needed to.
Steven got in early foul trouble again, but Enes came in, and he seemed to match the young guys' energy over there at Minnesota. How impressed were you with his game?
I thought Enes was a big help because having Serge and Steven in foul trouble was difficult. And I think when you take 2 defensive players off the floor, like Steven and like Serge, Nick and Enes needed to do a good job. And I thought Enes' defense got better in the second half. He did a much better job in the second half. But he was big, and we talked about that today with the guys coming off the bench, that we were going to need, their energy, their effort, and then to be ready to play. And I give them all credit because they all stepped up and, played extremely well.
You go 3-1 on this road trip through adversity, but you do give up 106, 116, 122, and then tonight.
It progressively got, if it was another one game on the road, it could be 140.
Good point. But how do you assess this overall, this road trip? You go 3-1, but
well, I've said this before. I think what happens is sometimes when you see results and they're positive results as it relates to winning, sometimes a lot of things get masked. And I think that when you go through a result of losing, things get overemphasized of how bad they are. I think where the truth lies is somewhere in the middle. We need to get better defensively. I do think that the rhythm and the rotation that we had defensively, we were moving in that direction. For whatever reason, coming out of that Dallas game, we did a pretty good job in that game, I thought, for about 3 quarters. I thought the last 6 minutes of the game, or 7 minutes when we got up, and they made that great run to get within 1. That wasn't great, but for the most of it was. And then, Steven going into that Brooklyn game, can't play. And then the next game, it's, that game, then Andre's out. Some of our defensive rhythm got broken. It just did. And I'm not trying to make excuses for the other guys, but however long those guys are out, we're going to have to be able to pick up the slack there defensively. And I thought we put them to the free throw line too much tonight. We gave up a real high percentage from the, from the field. But the difference in the game was the fact that they won, I think, maybe 18 for 28 from the free throw line. We end up going 10 for something from the three-point line, and we shot a high percentage too. But it was a game back and forth offensively. But we got to get better defensively. We really do. We have to get better. When you've got this amount of games in a short period of time, we come back and play Houston on Friday, and then we get 2 days, where we need to make some improvements. Consistency, and then there's times and periods we have breakdowns. And listen, these guys aren't robots. They're human beings. They're people. They try really, really hard. They give really good effort. But I think that there's still a lot of learning and growing that can go on. I think with things that we're doing in different coverages and the way we're guarding certain things, certain individuals, certain personnel. We've got to consistently just keep trying to get better. And I think we've shown signs. Like we've had some games where we've been moved all the way up to the 7th ranked defense. Coming out of this trip, we probably have taken a step back. But we're going to need to take a step forward to continue to improve. I think the one thing that's good for our team is that there is an opportunity. We haven't hit a ceiling. It's not like we can't get any better. I think that's the positive. And we just got to try to keep working to get better. And some of the rhythm may have gotten broken, but that's an area of serious focus for all of us.
Are you glad this 4-game journey is over? It's been quite a trip.
Yeah, between the storm and being in New York, then flying here late, was and again, our guys, their job's to go out there and do the best job they can to win games. I feel like my job and responsibility as a coach is to, yes, be excited about the result and be happy about it, and you should be. That's what we're trying to do. We're out there competing to win the game, so we should be happy that we were able to win. But you're also trying to say, okay, where are we at? Where do we need to get better? And where are we going? And I'm anxious to see, looking back on this 4-game trip, I'll do it numbers-wise, how much slippage there was defensively from going into this trip. And where are the areas that there's slippage? Where do we need to get better? And actually, how do we get better?
What was the sequence of things that happened with Cameron? That looked like he got hit.
Yeah, I think I don't know if it was an elbow or what it was, but he has a nice knot on his head. I'll tell you that. And all I was told, obviously I was talking to the team after. Only thing I was told coming out of the half was that he was basically done for the night. We couldn't use him anymore. So I just never asked why or what happened. And then coming back in there, they said it was concussion-like symptoms. I think probably all of our guys have a baseline testing, a certain protocol everybody has to go through. So. I think when he gets back and goes through some of those tests, we'll probably have a better idea of where he's at.
You go 3-1 on this road trip, but you go somewhere near about 115 per game in the 4 games. How do you assess this looking back at the whole thing?
We didn't play particularly well, but the name of the game, man, at the end of the day, you look at who had more points than others, if you won or not. And we won 3 games, we lost 1. We can go back to the drawing board and get better and get ready for the next game, but when you look at it, we went 3-1. Definitely want to play better. We can play better. We can do some things better. But I'd rather talk about that being 3-1 than 0-4 or 1-3. So, but we can definitely be better, 100%.
Where were the slippages defensively? Because that seems obviously kind of be the area where
there's no communication. I think it was a lot of communication out there. I think from both ends, from the wings and the bigs, we got to be, we got to be a cohesive unit on the defensive. One guy can't talk, one guy can't, be out there, off the page. Everybody's got to be on the same page. So from the bigs to the smalls, we just got to communicate a little better. And then, some teams got hot on us, man. Brooklyn, man, they made, Wayne Ellington was making these fall-away jump shots tonight. Levine making every shot he put up. It wasn't like they were breaking us down, getting to the rim, shooting tough shots on us. So sometimes you got to live with that, but, we can't give teams confidence early. That's the thing, But, we got, like I said, we always got good intentions. It's not like we're out there just, not caring, but sometimes teams just get hot on this.
Zach, what kind of the name of the game this time of the year where you coming off a back-to-back, you run into a team that's all of a sudden shooting very well, and you just find a way to grind it through and get the wins where you can?
Yeah, I feel like, to be honest, man, this might sound a little arrogant, but I feel like some teams know that we're going to come in here and get a win, and they just play a little bit, carefree. I think when you play carefree, man, sometimes that we want, man. Can I finish? All right, thanks. Well, when we play carefree, man, I think that's when you play easy basketball, and sometimes the ball falls to the rim. So, I think we got to come up and step our level up when we play on the road against younger teams, especially. When they feel like it's going to be a tough game anyway for them, and they're just going to play with nothing to lose.
Is that your philosophy, like in the fourth quarter, and maybe it's competitiveness too? But when you get into that rhythm and you're able to hit those shots, what you do, is that carefree mentality for you?
Yeah, that's the most carefree time of the game for me. I just put them up. And you can't change your shooting percentage that quickly, and with 3 or 4 minutes to go, you can't, be conservative and try to, just shoot good shots and make the right plays. When coach called play for me, to score, I got to put my head down, be aggressive to score. If somebody comes off me, they double team, I got to pass. So I just got to be just black and white at that time and try not to think so much and just play and just don't care. If we lose the game, I just go back in the locker room and figure out what I need to do better next time I be in that situation. So, it's just part of, I listened to Robert Ory say, plenty of times he hit those huge shots, he just didn't care. And I just try to take that same approach. Like, if the worst thing could happen is I miss and we lose. That's not as bad as, a lot of other things it could be. So it is what it is.
When you guys are assessing where you want to be defensively, is it more helpful to look at some plays in that first half or during that stretch in the fourth quarter when you hold them scoreless for 6 minutes? What in your mind is kind of more helpful in setting that standard?
I think, to be honest, just knowing what our standard is. And it might not be, we might not have shown it in this game or the game before, but we know what it is. To be honest, when we play a team, we know we can lock any team down. It's not like we're turning on and off and just not playing hard against teams. We definitely are playing hard, but there's sometimes where, we might be a step slow or, teams might be, it might be their night. But we know we're capable of. We know that we have to be more consistent with it. But any given night, it's not like we'll be in a slump defensively. We're gonna have some of those nights, but we know we have to get to. We've been there before, so that makes it even better. Just knowing that we can get to that level. We've been in that level for long periods of time. We gotta just try to sustain it for longer than we have in the past. So there's no huge concern. It's not like we're panicking. We didn't have good defensive games on this trip, but there's always hope. Next game that we can just turn this thing around.
Back games in which you guys really had to battle. Second night of a back-to-back. What impressed you about the way you guys closed this one out?
I want to continue to play through everything that our team can go through the road trip. Did a good job of coming out. I thought our bench did a great job of coming in with good energy. Nick and DJ guys stepping up and taking care of business.
Yeah, this is a game where you really needed them after playing so many minutes last night. You and Ennis seemed to really connect there late in the game.
Ennis does a good job of rolling. My job is to be able to find him in pockets where he's able to score the basketball, and that's what I'm trying to do.
How do you assess this road trip? You guys give almost 115 per game, but you go 3-1. How do you?
We like to win, but at the same time we know there's room for improvement on defensive end. But we definitely take our victories and keep back home and go back to the
tell him he got to get
Before
out of here.
we left for the
Tell him
this
you
road
gotta
trip,
go
you
there.
said the
I don't
key
got
is
none.
sticking together. This seemed like
Tell him that I
just
couldn't
about
give him away or
everything
something. Give him
you
something.
could face happen on this road trip. Injuries, foul trouble, teams hitting tough shots. How do you like the way that you guys did stay together?
I thought we did a great job of just playing the right way. The 4 games we played, and it helped us out, especially on the offensive end, scoring a lot of points. Just got to get back to the defensive side and get back to life.